Welcome back. I'm Felix, and I am reacting to Take Two Hot Takes podcast. It's been a while since I reacted to one of their stuff, but this one is about man's wife has a coworker watching. So let's get into it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I may be sneezing throughout this. My nose has gone haywire.
This is coming from r/relationships. It is titled, I, 31 male, found out my wife, 30 female, has been getting a coworker to spy on me at work.
Cheaper than a PI.
We've been married for 5 years and together for 8. Not really great at writing, so apologies in advance. I'll try to include as much info as I can think of, and that's relevant, but please feel free to ask me for more in the comments if I wasn't clear about something. My wife has been jealous of a coworker at my job for some time now. Her name is Heather, and she's in her early 20s. Tall, pretty. Just observations, as I have a pair of eyes. Heather is nice, but I don't go out of my way to talk to her. We worked together on a project about 8 months ago, which is when this seems to have started. Heather, 3 other coworkers, and I were assigned to this project, and so for a good month, we spent much time together at work. My wife saw her one day when we were all coming out, and she was picking me up to go to dinner at my parents'. She immediately asked who she was and if she worked at my job. I told her she was new and was put on our project. For the entire duration of the project, my wife was in a bad mood almost every day and would take every opportunity to tear Heather down.
Those are red flags. It's like, of all the women I've worked with before, now you're getting jealous. That's some huge red flags. I'd be almost tempted to say, I've worked with hotter, and you didn't say anything. So, I actually would say.
Lanky, or her nose was crooked, or whatever. She is insecure about her height because she's 5'4", and not a, quote, 6-foot-tall glamazon. I love my wife's height and her petite figure, and I tell her this every day. She is extremely gorgeous and turns heads whenever we walk downtown. But once she saw Heather was tall and not ugly, she was convinced I thought she was hot.
Actually, so what if he does think she's hot? I hate hearing stories like this because you can think someone's hot, and it doesn't mean you're going to try to sleep with them. There are tons of women I think are hot or attractive. I'm not going out of my way to sleep with them. My wife knows I look, but I don't touch. I might see a woman just like shake my head and keep going. That's it. If you get jealous over that, you have some issues, in which obviously she's going to have issues considering she got a coworker to watch him. And oh my God, that coworker, I would report her to HR so fast it would be funny. But I'm getting ahead of myself, but still.
Telling her she was just a colleague and that I had no interest in her. Regardless, she would greet her coldly, or not at all if she saw my colleagues. Our home and jobs are located downtown, so we usually walk to meet up with each other after work. My wife would start dressing up a lot more than usual when she'd come to meet me and make a big show of jumping on me and stuff. She works at a very nice bakery and usually brings leftovers from work for us or people at my job. She always gave things out to everyone except Heather. Eventually, Heather picked up on the hostility and approached me to...
Actually, I would have cut that off. Sorry, I'll probably be pausing on this because this is already pissing me off. If my wife was doing that, I'd be like, you purposely did that. Don't come to my job anymore. I don't need you screwing up my job. Don't do that.
My wife was acting that way. I simply told her I didn't know. Maybe because she didn't know her as long as the other colleagues, and so she was distant. She seemed to accept that, but would no longer leave at the same time as everyone else, and would either go early or hang back. Brian, another coworker, approached me on Friday and asked to talk to me privately. He told me he had been at lunch with Kate, the coworker in question, and she had gone to pay for the food. She left her phone on the table. It lit up with a text, and he saw it was from Valerie, my wife's name. The text basically said, quote, "Did you see him talking to her today? What did he say?" Then, quote, "Do you think Heather is going to stay at that job long?" When Kate came back to the table, he asked her if that was Valerie, as in my wife. She got a deer in headlights look and said, quote, "Oh yeah, we text sometimes. We're friends." He said he thought it was weird because she put her phone in her purse without even checking the messages he had asked about, and then she just wanted to go. I went home and I snooped on my wife's phone.
First off, what was his name? Brian? Brian. Keep Brian close. Definitely keep Brian close. That's not just a coworker, that's a friend. You need to keep him close. Make him a friend. Because he had your back. Definitely keep Brian around.
I know it was wrong, but I had a feeling that if I asked her, she would deny it or become defensive and not show me the phone. There were weeks worth of texts that basically were little reports on what went on at work. If Heather talked to me, what we talked about, did she hug me goodbye? Did she touch me at all? Did I laugh at her jokes? Did the guys think she was hot? Did I join in with them? Did I look like I was flirting?
His wife has issues. Lots of issues.
Kate was also apparently talking up Valerie at work to Heather. She made sure to mention often we were married, how great Valerie, my wife, was, how long we'd been together. I even read one that said, quote, I told her, quote, Val works in a bakery. I bet if anyone tried to steal her husband, she'd just chop them up and bake them into a pie. Ha ha. Which was pretty fucking creepy.
Yeah, what was her name? Kate? Yeah, I'll be reporting Kate. Report Kate. Report her immediately. I'll be reporting that woman. And yes, I know my wife is involved, but I will report her so fast.
A lot of things started coming together then. Heather was much more distant lately. She seemed hesitant to say goodbye at the end of the day. We used to talk casually like everyone else at work, but now she would just say hi and bye mostly. I've been sitting on this information all weekend. Today at work, I could hardly look at Heather for shame of it, and I couldn't look at Kate for my disgust.
Again, sorry for pausing so much. I would be apologizing to Heather profusely and tell her I'm nipping this in the bud right now. I apologize. I didn't know my wife was this type of jealousy. And as for Kate, I would tell her go to HR and report Kate immediately. I have already. And yeah, I would have nipped this in the bud as soon as I realized what was going on. Me and my wife would have had it out. Oh my God. Thank God my wife's not like this. I would not have been. I don't do jealousy in relationships. I understand jealousy to a point, but jealousy overall, I don't do in relationships. Like jealousy, being jealous over someone having a nice car, that's one thing. You know, oh man, it's nice. But my type of jealousy is, oh, that's a nice car, and move on. Some people, that's a nice car, and then they got to go destroy the car. That's what this woman's doing here.
Able to approach my wife about this because I just don't know how or what to say. I feel frustrated and very much weirded out. I feel gross too, like I've had my every move watched without knowing it, and as if just talking to a coworker is doing something wrong. I haven't talked to anyone else about this, not even Brian, who first mentioned it. I don't know what to do from here. I don't even know what this means for our relationship. It feels like something big has changed because I haven't even been able to look at her the same way. And all of my interactions with her since Friday have been kind of forced and faked.
It's because you're mad at her. And the trust has been broken. That's a big thing. His trust in his wife has been broken, 100%. She's going to have to earn that trust back if they stay together.
To talk to her and figure out what to do. Any advice would be appreciated. I feel very lost right now.
All right, before they answer, my advice is confront your wife. Tell her to cut the crap. Let her know you're jeopardizing my job. Let her know I reported Kate. And you break off your friendship with Kate. Nah, you can't be friends with her no more. Because that woman put my job at risk. You put my job at risk. This ends now. And I don't know if I would make her apologize to Heather. I'd probably like stay the hell away from Heather, actually. Don't go near her in any way, shape, or form. Just leave her alone. And it's like this woman didn't do anything. And I probably, like I said, if my wife doesn't do the jealousy thing, thank God. But if out of the blue she started being jealous, I'm like, you either got a tumor, or there's something you didn't tell me happened, and you need to go get some psychological help. But yeah, jealousy, I can't stand jealousy in relationships. Can't stand it. Because 9 times out of 10, it's not warranted, it's pointless, and it ends up destroying relationships. So, but yeah, I definitely would confront my wife, tell her to get help. Cut your relationship off with Kate. You are not allowed to talk to her in any way, shape, or form. I don't know about monitoring her phone because I'm not a big monitor type of guy. And this is trust. I'm trusting you to be honest with me. And if I later discover you haven't been honest and you kept talking to Kate, next step is divorce. As of right now, I will let her know I do not trust you at all.
This is a big one.
This is insane.
This is a big one.
Woo!
This isn't just, I was insecure in this. This turned into a serious deal. I know exactly what Jerry would say.
My dad?
Keeping score. As soon as you're keeping score, the game's over. So in my mind, it's like, well, first of all, the pie thing. She's not a butcher.
That was so weird.
She's not Dexter going to chop you up and then bake you into a pie.
Oh my God, why
Could do a meat pie.
threatening
Who
your
comes up with that?
coworker?
Who comes up with that?
See, that's what I was talking about. Report that coworker. She needs to be reported. She's a threat. She's deadly. She's a threat to everyone. And honestly, that's part of grounds for termination. Get her out of there.
She's watching way too much true crime, okay? Because we've been watching a lot of true crime.
We have.
And she's watching more than us.
I'll tell you right now, the 4 Clues episodes I recorded last week are really good. And yeah,
Would you come up with that?
no. I wouldn't threaten my coworker. To me, that's a threat. Oh, if someone steals her husband, she'll bake him up in a pie. Like,
How did Kate get so radicalized from her all of a sudden?
Kate's gone goofy too.
Kate's like ride or die for the wife. So that's why I was saying earlier, those two cannot be friends at all.
Ooh.
I'm curious what Valerie told her to, I don't know. But overall, this is a serious relationship problem because now it's a total trust problem. You clearly don't trust me.
Yep.
What if outside of work, Heather was just a friend of his, genuinely a friend? I mean, we're talking, this has just wider,
Ramifications,
than
for sure.
it does just with this one person.
I agree.
Because this is any person that she feels threatened by going forward, it's going to be an issue.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then to have people, I don't know. I'd be I don't know what I'd do.
I know.
I'm like, I don't even know what
That's what I'm saying. It is trust. The trust is broken.
to say right now. I can't come up with the words because I can't imagine being in that position and I don't know what I would do.
There's so many things wrong with it because I think not only does your partner not trust you, clearly very insecure, but also is malicious, is almost like stalking this person through this coworker, which is weird. And the coworker is also seemingly a stalker. Mm-hmm. But it's like for this wife to bake all these things for people and give everyone something but Heather, this is a cruel, vindictive, malicious person. Like, there's so many issues you can take.
I was just thinking, a lot of times people don't just become like this. I just realized, has this husband been ignoring red flags this whole time? I guarantee you while they were dating, something similar happened. I don't know why. I just feel like it. Because people don't just suddenly one day flip a switch and okay. It's rare. It does happen, but it's rare. That, you go from being Mr. Goody Two Shoes to suddenly a serial killer. Something happened, usually there's a trigger. In this case, they're married, which means they probably dated for a while. You telling me the whole time they dated, she didn't do anything like this? Or did she do something like this and he doesn't know about it? I just feel like there would have been red flags long before this happened. Either he just dismissed it or he just he didn't pay attention to the jealousy that she clearly displayed. So she was talking there and that just popped in my head. I feel like there's probably been red flags and he just ignored them. The red flags have probably always been there.
One problem, and no matter which way you spin it, the wife is not looking good, not looking very sane, clearly needs to go to therapy and work
Yeah.
through some big issues,
And
because
then couples therapy at this. I mean, this is yeah.
couples therapy would be, that's the bare minimum.
Yeah.
The bare
It
minimum.
needs to be like coupled in with that.
Yeah. Because this is just something, like, personally, I don't think I would be able to get past. Like, to know that my partner does not trust me in the slightest, that I can't even go to work. And
Oh, that was another thing, actually, the trust thing. I hate it when people say, I trust my partner, I just don't trust who they're with. It's like, if you don't trust the person I'm around, tell me. If you think that person is going to do something, tell me. Don't wait till afterwards. Why don't you trust them? And if your answer is because they'll seduce you, that means you don't trust me. That means you think I'm so weak-minded that if this person seduces me, that I'm just going to cave and go buck wild with this person. That's you not trusting me. And also, that's a reflection of you. Because to me, that means that if someone seduced you, you would just give in. So, yeah, I'm not you. Don't put that on me. And now that I know you don't trust me, maybe we should call it quits. But yeah, trust is the hard. Once trust is broken in a relationship, it's not that easy to get back. And let's say you do get the trust back, it's not the same trust. If you want to put it percentage-wise, you had 100% trust. Now you have maybe 80% trust in the person. So at each time that person does something, even just a little, that trust actually can go down. So that's why I said the trust is not the same. Once the trust is lost, and if you manage to get it back, it's not the same. It's never the same after the trust is broken.
not be monitored throughout my whole entire day.
And, as it reads and as we're assuming, he's done nothing wrong.
True.
And if you've genuinely,
Very true.
if you genuinely have done nothing wrong, and this is how your partner's treating you and your colleagues, that's tough to come back from.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so curious. What does that look like going forward? I'm trying to put us in that category, even though it would be a crazy thing for us to end up in that position. But I mean, I wouldn't want to lose you, but that's just, I don't know where you'd go.
No, I'd love for some
I'm really
couples
stuck.
counselors to maybe chime in on this one. Like, if you're a therapist out there and like this was your hypothetical couple, like, where would you go from here? Like, this is the Roach Motel. Like, this is a tough hole to dig your way out of. That's for sure.
This feels like first relationship, 18 to 22 type of insecurity.
Yeah.
Where we've had a lot of stories with that, but it's not married, been together for 8 years, in your 30s.
Oh, I missed that at the beginning. Yeah, they're in their 30s, 8 years, and that's what I was saying earlier. Like, she's never given you any reason, any pause before, or maybe she's done it before and he doesn't know it. I would start thinking back to every female that I've interacted with. Honestly, I would. I'd be like, wait a minute. If she's done this with her and she got Kate on board so easily, I would start thinking back real quick. It's like, wait a minute. There was Brittany who suddenly quit. There was such and such who suddenly bolted. There was such a, oh my God, how long has she been doing this? I would definitely think back about every single female coworker I've interacted with. And that brings up a question. What does Kate look like, actually? That she's not worried about Kate. No, honestly, what does Kate look like? Does Kate look like a dog or something? That's what now I want to know what Kate looks like, that she's not worried about Kate. So that's interesting. And what's interesting? I don't even think it dawned on Kate that Valerie's not worried about her. Valerie thinks she's ugly. I guarantee you. Valerie thinks Kate is ugly. And that's why she's not worried about her. I just thought of that. Because why isn't she jealous of Kate being around her husband? That's another interesting take on that.
No.
This
is insane. I just I don't have enough words to say how serious this is. And it's oh, well, it's not, this and this. It could be so much worse, but there's so much wrong with this. And the top comment seems to pick up on the outrage I feel, because it says, This is outrageous. Your wife has completely undermined you in a professional capacity and allowed her insecurities to jeopardize your career. I would be infuriated. First things first, I would tell your wife that you know what has happened and that it is completely unacceptable. I would then organize marriage counseling for her to work through her insecurities and for you to help rebuild your trust in her. Let's get this straight. She has let you down here. She has broken your trust. She needs to apologize and work to change this gross behavior fast, or I would be hot-footing it out of there real quick.
I guess the first test really is when you bring it up, how does she react? If it's deny, then you kind of know where you're headed. You have a tough hill to climb.
I think at that point, if it's deny, I'd be seeking separation.
Right.
Because it's giving unhinged, borderline, real bad behavior.
It's giving like a different version of the show You without the killing. It's giving like the stalking aspect.
She is, fully. She is stalking. She is stalking poor Heather.
And it doesn't matter that she's not the one in the parking lot peering through the windows.
She might be.
Well,
I wouldn't put it past this girl.
But it's like that because you're doing it through someone else. And it is.
You know, since I was thinking about what Kate looks like, now I want to know what Heather looks like. Because he's saying his wife is gorgeous and turns head. If they put them side by side, if it turned out Valerie was better looking, I think I almost would want to smack Valerie. It's like, what is, clearly you're insecure. And a lot of times people equate height with sexuality, their looks, and it's not just height that determines whether or not you're attractive. So, I mean, I know there's a lot of people, especially on the internet, that are hung up on height, but height's not the end all to whether or not you're attractive. And that's why I'm wondering, what does Valerie look like? What does Heather look like? And what does Kate look like? So, because I have seen where attractive women think another woman's attractive, and you look, and then you look back at the woman who thinks the other woman's more attractive, and you're like, God, who hurt you? who put you through the ringer to make you think you're ugly?
It's true. I mean, that puts you in such an awkward position at work. And also just poor Heather from the beginning, just starting her career, just coming into this, trying to do her best, trying to be part of this team, work on this project, and she's met with all this crazy ass shit. Like, that would be very discouraging.
No, it's really, really unfortunate. And someone does reply to the top comment and get into that. Let's not forget the potential undermining of Heather's career as well. Assuming OP is being truthful about his interactions and feelings, or lack thereof, with Heather, this poor woman is being ostracized at work for no other reason than her looks. That's fucking despicable of your wife to cause such disruption to an innocent woman. She should be ashamed of herself.
And it just sounds so wild that I'm scared we see the other side of it at some point. We do get, although it'd be hard to trust, but we get the wife's perspective, and it's, I saw this, I saw him texting, calling late night, I saw them leave this place dinner together. I don't know. We don't have.
The downside to that, like you said, it'd be tough to take, because he does say they were working on a project. And a lot of times if you're working on a project, you're going to be texting. And they might be out to dinner together, and like the team might be out, but she just saw the two of them standing next to each other. So there's a lot you would have to take with a grain of salt if the wife was to give her side, because it's just like, we're gonna need some video evidence. You know, when he was texting, did he try to hide it? When you saw them together, you didn't see anyone else from work with them. And so the texting, out to eat, stuff like that, I would need some hardcore evidence. Because so far, he's not being outlandish in the story. He's not going overboard in the story. He's just laying it out. And it sounds like he was just working. He doesn't care for Heather. You know, she's attractive. Yeah, and he's doing his job. And he's being sabotaged by Kate and his wife. So, if the wife was to give her side, it'd be hard to swallow.
That's what makes this hard, right? Because you never know. But I think assuming that we're trusting the write-in as it is, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I feel like, honestly, he might be going easy on the write-in and how bad this probably really is. Because this is his wife. He loves her. I'm sure there's other details that were like worse.
Yeah.
That OP's not sharing.
Yeah.
And
Like she pulled a knife on me when I. Well, we haven't got to that part yet, but let's see.
I would hope that he would do everything within his power to make this right for Heather at work. I don't know if you could even involve HR because, like, it's your wife. And if you tell HR your wife is targeting a coworker, like, that's your job on the line. So, like, I don't know where
what
you go.
do. Yeah.
I don't know if you go to Heather and just, like, apologize for making her.
Well, like I said earlier, I would get HR involved because of Kate. And let the chips fall with me. If I lose my job, I lose my job. But I would feel horrible doing that to someone else or finding out that my spouse did that to someone else. I would go to HR, tell them my wife and Kate were conspiring against this woman at work. And I understand this could affect my job, but I felt it necessary to come to you guys and let you know what's going on.
Feel awkward. Like, clearly Heather has picked up on this. Your wife should not be invited to any happy hours with your coworkers any longer. Like, there needs to be distance and separation, and that is the punishment for the way she's acted. That's not a
especially
punishment. That is just the consequence of her actions.
and especially until you figure out your own relationship at this point.
Yeah.
New fear.
Really?
Well, it's just like, oh my God. I just, in my life at this age,
Fear.
I cannot.
I would not do this.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying at this age, I cannot imagine dealing with a partner that's that insecure. I don't have the capacity for that in my life at this point. There was a time, sure. There was a time, but just not now. That feels like I'd be going so far backward, and that we would be going so far backward because I don't ever see us in that.
No, never. This would never be me. I love making friends. I love humans. I think everyone's beautiful in their own way. Like, I just really would never ever be threatened by someone else. And like, in my head, I'm like, if someone else can take you, then I don't want you.
Exactly. Trust
Ugh.
someone until they show you they can't be trusted.
Yeah.
Don't go find a reason.
Don't go fishing.
You're ruining it for yourself.
Yeah.
Look at how it's backfiring.
You know. OP does have a couple comments. I'm going to bring up counseling today when I get home from work and talk to her about this. I think a counselor would be great help in this situation, someone to mediate and guide us through navigating this issue and the underlying issues that cause this.
The fact that OP's even considering trying to work it out makes me even think further that he's done absolutely nothing to even cause any sort of suspicion.
No, I'm feeling...
There's no wrongdoing.
I think
because
he's being very truthful.
Someone who would be like guilty of something would probably just break it off.
Not necessarily. You got some really, really, really narcissistic people out there that would be like, I didn't do anything wrong. And try to gaslight him and force him to get therapy so the therapist they would probably even try to convince the therapist to be on their side just so they could keep control. You never know. But yeah, overall, like I said, from the writing, I don't think this guy's done anything wrong.
They wouldn't want to try and work things out. I don't know. We'll see.
I know. We shall see. Indeed. Because we got an update.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So what I didn't mention is this post is a little vintage. This is coming from 2016.
Oh.
So update, which comes 2 days after the original post,
Good.
says this. First off, I would like to thank everyone for their responses and for taking the time to give me advice. I did not expect the 300 comments or so I received, so please don't take it personally if I didn't reply to yours. On to the update. I took the general advice and confronted my wife and used therapy as a non-negotiable term. So Tuesday, when I posted, I saw Kate at work and bluntly said, quote, "You don't need to report on me today or any day after this. I'll be talking to my wife after I'm done today." She got this blank look on her face and said she didn't know what I meant, but I noticed her hanging around significantly less than usual after that.
Yeah.
I did my best to focus on my work, but I asked to go home early because it was just impossible with everything looming ahead of me for me to even concentrate. I went home and texted my wife that I was home early and I needed to talk to her when she was done with work, so to please come home right away. I got a bunch of, "What's going on? What's wrong?" texts, but just kept telling her that I'd talk to her at home. She got home and I got straight into it right away. I told her I knew about the text with Kate, about the spying, the harassment of Heather. She was mad at first and kept adamantly saying she did nothing wrong, and if I had nothing to hide, then why did it matter? I told her to please not.
Oh my God. The why does it matter part, that would have sent me over the edge. I would have just opened up and been like, what the hell do you mean? What does it matter? This is my job. You're interfering with my job. That's what matters. You can't do this. You got a coworker spying on me. It's like I would have went off, and I think that would have been the end of our relationship if my wife had said something like that to me after I confronted her about what she did. Like, oh, yeah.
Play me for a fool and outlined all of the things her behavior meant, like a lack of trust and sheer vindictiveness. I brought up the consequences, like my damaged trust and drama in the workplace. I also brought up how my job could be at risk because of this. She made a point to say they couldn't fire me without also removing Heather.
It's done.
As she'd say she was being inappropriate towards a married man in the workplace, and Kate would back her up.
This is done. Right then, this is done, okay? If I'm in that position, it's exactly what we talked about.
That's giving psychopath.
Yeah.
That brought us.
Yeah. I'd be like, you didn't hear anything I said. And I'd be like, that's not how that works. I'd be the one getting fired. Kate would get fired. And nothing would happen to Heather because she didn't do anything. And if I lost my job as a result of my wife, I would just be livid. During the divorce, I would take my wife for everything. I would take every last cent. It was like, you get nothing. As I said, I don't do jealousy in relationships.
Argument, and it ended with her crying and me yelling. She started asking, quote, "Who the fuck is Heather to you that you give so much of a shit anyways?" And derailed into this whole thing about.
I'm watching him. He and I are on the same page because I would be cussing. As soon as she said, "Who the is Heather to you?" I'm like, just get out. I'd be like, get out. You need to leave. Get out right now. It's like, I would just go pack her stuff and throw her out. I'm like, get out. I'm done. Get out. I just can't deal with that stuff. I hate that stuff. And as I said, if my wife ever suddenly one day became super jealous like that, it'd be over. It'd just be over. I'm like, I'm not dealing with this. Get out. Get out.
About someone I claimed meant nothing to me. I don't want to get into too much detail.
Oh, hold on a second. Watch her. She's looking at. She can see him squirming over there.
Someone I claimed meant nothing to me. I don't want to get into too much detail because this would be extremely long, but the conversation was a good 5 to 6 hours long.
Jesus.
It ended with her.
It wouldn't have lasted that long with me. No. We're done. Get the hell out.
Agreeing to go to couples therapy and individual if the couples therapist so deemed it. She apologized to me a lot and admitted that she'd been acting out of jealousy and anger towards Heather. She asked if I wanted her to apologize to Heather in person, but I said no. I didn't want there to be more drama.
That's what I was saying at the beginning, like, confronting your wife. I wouldn't want to go anywhere near Heather because I'd be afraid she'd do something. Like, just stay away from her. Do not go near her. Do not contact her in any way, shape, or form. In fact, knowing this situation, I'd be like, and if you're following her on social media, get off of social media. Unfollow her. I want you to actually block her. Just block Heather. Just block Heather on everything. Get away from Heather. Stay away from her. She did nothing to you.
I watched as she texted Kate and told her to stop and that she was sorry for dragging her into it. She gave me the password to her phone for transparency, but I told her it was pointless, as if she really wanted to continue, she could just delete the text before I saw them or change the name or whatever.
Or get a second phone. There are people who actually go get a second phone for stuff like this. So that's what I said. I wouldn't necessarily keep an eye on her, but I let her know my trust in you is next to zero. So, yeah, that's why I said I wouldn't worry about watching her.
I told her I expected her to keep her word to stop. Because if I got any indication that this was still going on after our talk, that I would separate from her and file for divorce. Yesterday morning, things still seemed tense.
Just hold on a second. The fact that he's staying, I commend him for that. I've been married for 20 years, 20 plus. Well, together, married 20, together 20 plus years because we dated for a while. I don't know if I would have the patience he has for her to go through therapy, because therapy is not a quick fix. It's going to take years for her to go through therapy. And there's no guarantee it will work. You could get another super attractive coworker and she could go right back to doing it. That's why I said also HR does need to be involved because of Kate. I will report this because of Kate. Because who's to say Kate's not doing this for other women? I would definitely report it and let the chips fall where they fall.
But it was to be expected. She still kissed me before going to work, and we had normal text conversations on our commute. I get to work, and Kate apologizes to me, and I accept it, but tell her our work relationship from here on out is forever changed, and there's no going back from it. I tell her that beyond work conversation, we have nothing else to talk about. She accepted it and went on to start the day. Lunch rolls in. I ask Brian if he'll let me buy him lunch and thank him for telling me. We go to have lunch, and he asks me if I've heard Heather put in a request for a transfer. Apparently on Tuesday, when I left early, Heather asked why I wasn't at my desk because she had brought over the week's project booklet and had seen me there earlier. Kate, of all people, told her that I had gone home to, quote, deal with personal issues. When Heather asked her,
this is why Kate needs to be reported. I cannot stress this enough. If something like this ever happens to any of you, report this to HR immediately. I know you're afraid about losing your job, but if something else goes down and it comes back to Kate, and Kate somehow flips this to where, well, when I did this such and such, he didn't report it. And also, like I said, who's to say she's not doing this for other people? So, yeah, this should have been reported. I would have approached Heather and said, Heather, I know what's going on. I'm going to HR, and I hope to God you go to HR too and report this. I want you to report everything. Report Kate, report my wife. You can report me. Report it all. I want there to be a record of it. So if some stuff like this goes down again, it's like they can trace it back to Kate. I mean, we can get rid of Kate because Kate's the reason all this happened, actually. If Valerie didn't have Kate, wouldn't have been able to do all this. So, yeah. Kate needs to be reported. Report Kate to HR. I know this is from 2016, but I hope someone reported Kate to HR.
if everything was all right, Kate told her that she hoped so because, quote, I don't want to see someone come between Valerie and OP's marriage. There must have been a bit more to the exchange because Heather went all the way up to our boss's boss and asked for a transfer to a different department. I feel extremely embarrassed because without a doubt, I feel like that guy now in the office. I know Brian isn't a gossip, but of course people will ask why Heather transferred, and without a doubt, it will eventually get out.
Kate's going to tell everyone. Again, this is why this needs to be reported to HR. I guarantee you, Kate's telling everyone Heather was moving in on Valerie's husband, or Heather was trying to get with OP. Report this to HR. If this stuff happens to anyone, report it to HR. Now, yes, HR is not on your side, but you need a paper trail. Create a paper trail. Email HR. Say, hey, I need to speak with you guys about an incident. Go speak with them. And if you can't, secretly record it. Because sometimes HR is in with some people. And then email HR after the meeting, going over what you guys talked about. Like, type it up. Keep a digital paper trail. Keep a physical paper trail if you have to. And email your personal email. Send the CC yourself when you email HR every single time to your personal email. So that way, if you do lose your job, they go in and try to wipe your email. You got a paper trail. You got your personal email. You got the recordings. You got everything. So if you need to sue them, you can. Otherwise, create a paper trail. Report to HR, because this is going to affect his job in the future. Somehow, some way, this will affect his job.
People who used to talk to me casually will probably stop. The women of the office will feel as if they need to keep their distance. And I feel so ashamed that I can't even approach Heather to apologize for the stress this must have caused her. I doubt she would even want to see my face at this point. So yes, wife has agreed to counseling, both couples and individual, apologize to me, all those things. But the damage is now done, and I feel like complete shit about work now. I guess I shouldn't have been so naive to think that just fixing this with my wife would make everything else go away. Anyways, thank you for all the advice. I was feeling very at sea before writing this post. I still feel a bit lost as far as how to deal with the fallout of all of this, but at least I have one part of it sorted or on its way to being sorted, so that's positive.
All right, so I'm going to end it there. But yeah, looks like they go on and just kind of chit chat for some more. But yeah, it's the trust. The trust for me. I'm one of those people. Once you break that trust, I don't trust you anymore. Even down the road, if I'm not going to trust you. I'm just not. And as I said, if we were together this long, my wife suddenly went the jealous route. Like, yeah, I didn't do anything to deserve this, and I'm done. I'm just one of those people. I just don't do that. I can't stand jealousy. Just can't. I'll leave a link so you guys can go back and watch the whole thing without me interrupting and watch the other Reddit stories. Otherwise, don't forget to like and subscribe, and everyone take care. Later.